Happy Earth Day, everybody. The first Earth Day was recognized 52 years ago, but according to the experts in Washington, we don't have many Earth Days left to celebrate.
It's about understanding that it costs more not to respond to the climate crisis than it does to respond. And it is, without exaggeration, about survival.
The planet is running a fever. There are no emergency rooms for planets. We have to pass legislation that unleashes the wind and solar, all-electric vehicle, plug-in hybrid, battery storage technology, transmission technology revolution that we know is out there. We can save all of creation by engaging in massive job creation.
Millennials and people and Gen Z and all these folks that come after us are looking up, and we're like, the world is going to end in 12 years if we don't address climate change. And your biggest issue is how are we going to pay for it?
12 years? That was 3 years ago. Wow, the clock is really ticking. But this isn't the first time we've been threatened with a climate apocalypse. In 1969, the New York Times talked to an expert who said everyone will disappear in a cloud of blue steam by 1989 because of pollution. Now, I don't remember disappearing in a cloud of blue steam, do you? The AP, the Associated Press, reported in 1989 that rising seas would obliterate whole nations by 2000. That didn't happen either. But nevertheless, Joe Biden, Captain Planet himself, is taking big, bold action on climate. And he's opening up America's pocketbook to force the military to go green.
One of the things I've found out as the President of the United States, I get to spend a lot of that money. I get to decide where, no, I'm not joking. And we're going to completely, we're going to start the process where every vehicle in the United States military, every vehicle is going to be climate friendly. Every vehicle. We're going to have no, I mean it.
Joe Biden wants the Army to drive electric tanks. But what does he drive? After all, he is an automobile buff.
I'm an automobile buff. I have a '68 Corvette that does nothing but pollute the air, but I don't drive very much.
Why doesn't he drive a Tesla? After all, he wants you to buy one. So we asked Jen Psaki this last month, and here's what she said.
You guys are pushing electric vehicles today. This is a president who always talks about the power of our example. Mm-hmm. Does he own an electric vehicle?
Presidents of the United States don't do a lot of driving.
He's posted videos where he's revving the engine of his Corvette in Wilmington. He owns cars.
And he also has driven electric vehicles as president, as to give a model to the rest of the country.
Does he own one?
I think the president's record on this is clear, Peter. Presidents of the United States, current and when they are no longer, typically are not doing a lot of driving.
That sounds like a no. Though Biden did say today that he'll buy an electric Corvette if Chevy ever makes one. But this is the problem with the elitist left's approach to the environment. They want you to change your life, but they won't do anything to change theirs. Just take John Kerry, for instance. He's Joe Biden's climate czar and a Class A hypocrite. He wants coal miners to go make solar panels, but he won't give up his private jet. But that's okay, because he really deserves it.
It's the only choice for somebody like me who is traveling the world to win this battle. I negotiated the Paris Accords for the United States. I've been involved in this fight for years. The time it takes me to get somewhere. I can't sail across the ocean. I have to fly.
And he's not alone. Just yesterday, Bill Clinton told us, if you don't want to die, you've got to make some serious changes.
Calamitous consequences will ensue if we don't do X, Y, Z. And every year, the closer we get to D-Day, the more harsh these consequences seem to be, but the steeper the cuts need to be because we're running out of time. Oh, now we don't have any excuse. Our grandchildren are depending on you.
I wonder if he was thinking about the consequences when he was flying private to Africa on Jeffrey Epstein's Lolita Express. Look, here's the thing about Joe Biden's climate agenda. It's big, it's expensive, and it comes wrapped in miles of red tape. According to a report from the Securities and Exchange Commission, Biden's climate regulations could cost American businesses more than $10 billion. Is that money coming out of Joe's pocket? I don't think so. Those regulations aren't just costly, they're time-consuming. He's restoring environmental regulations that will tie up construction projects, including his own infrastructure plans, in years of legal battles with climate activists. You know who doesn't regulate construction to death? China. They're the biggest polluter in the world, but you don't hear anyone complaining about them. Instead, it's the American climate activists who are convinced that we are the problem. They want us to continue punishing ourselves, despite the fact that our air is 75 times cleaner than it was on the first Earth Day 52 years ago, and our water is the cleanest it's ever been. But when it comes to climate, liberals don't believe in moderation. For them, it's not enough that you don't throw your trash in the rivers. You have to sacrifice your truck and your hamburgers, and in some cases, your job at their big green altar.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.